As it becomes clear that the perspective of James and Cole are rather intertwined in a way, Neighbors starts the second part of the album, and it's where we zoom out of James's life and take a look at our narrator.
Yeah.
The neighbors think that I'm selling dope. The neighbors think I'm selling dope. Selling dope.
No picture with the president. I just want to talk to the man.
J. Cole, in 2016, as he was writing,
the nigga's not gonna listen, and he ain't gonna do shit about it. And even if he did, he can't.
Writing this album, went to speak with President Obama, along others like Bullshyt T and
this nigga Cole looks so goofy with his head just sticking out and all that stuff. Like the thing is, everyone's just standing around us. That one's three, and you just see his head just pop out or some shit though. Like bruh, and then next thing like you get like they get like that cartoonish pop or some shit, and then his head just sticks out.
DJ Khaled to discuss criminal justice reform, and right away he's kind of cold and focused on one thing. He's not here for a picture or to look good hanging out with President Obama. He's here with James on his mind.
Speak for the boys in a bando, and my nigga never walking again. Apologize if I'm hopping again.
Cole paints a good picture of where he is at that point of his life. Obviously, he's very successful, but still aware of the challenges and hard work he did to get there.
Or a nigga that could sing and explain all the pain that it cost him. My 16 should have came with a coffin.
Just to put that into perspective, a study from around the time that album was released said that in America, just 50% of black youth felt confident that they would live to be 35.
But one thing is for sure, though, the fame is exhausting. That's why I moved away. I needed privacy surrounded.
But as I said, J. Cole is
again, the white man created this shit.
Massively successful, just looking for a quiet place to settle down for a little while, and decides to rent a house in North Carolina.
Crib has got a big old backyard. My niggas stand outside and pass cigars, filled with marijuana, laughing.
There's nothing that special about it. It's in a quiet neighborhood. The way he describes it, it's a vacation, right?
Wait, I think police is at the door.
This is real footage from March 18th, 2016, when a SWAT team raided the shelter, as Cole calls it. And you may be asking yourself, why?
Wait, so I'm like thinking this is an actual thing? I mean, yes, but basically like at his house or some shit?
Turns out they received complaints from the neighbors who saw black men entering and leaving the house, smoking on the porch, and thought, that's it, they are selling drugs. Thankfully, no one was in the house when this happened. But like, someone could have gotten killed because of that. In fact, one of J. Cole's producers had just gone out to lunch and came back to see the SWAT team in the house.
Some things you can't escape. Death, taxes, and a rate. It's society that make.
Obviously, a huge aspect of this album is about racism, and this song is a real-life anecdote or example of that. Even though it's the only song that diverges from
they smashed it?
James's story, it still attaches itself perfectly to it.
I can't sleep cause I'm paranoid. Black in a white man territory.
Cole starts to feel fear, actually.
Cops bust in with the army guns. No evidence of the harm we done.
Like, look at this shit. One of the cops could have just decided, they're aggressive, I'm gonna shoot because I act in self-defense. This could have gone terribly bad.
Just a couple neighbors that assume we slang. Only time they see us, we be on the news and change them.
Just because of some stupid stereotypes from the neighbors who live in a primarily white community, and that's the only reference they have. A black man on the porch smoking.
Don't follow me.
Okay, the neighbors think I'm selling dope.
It even happened to literally when it comes to the MP though, they literally had complaints about them thinking that something that something was happening with them too. They did the same thing to them as well.
Both sides act in fear of one another when it's just two neighbors who happen to be white and black.
Selling dope.
Well, motherfucker, I am.
The track still ends with a twist, with Cole saying, well, actually, you know what? I am selling dope, perhaps a metaphor for his music, but I think this is actually where James's story takes the centerpiece again. As you're gonna see in the next tracks, we switch back to James.
I'm moving back to Southside.
Even though we know the end of James's story, it's still not complete. It's like between She's Mine Part 1 and Change, we still have missing pieces.
And then basically motherfuckers going to be talking about black fatigue when really they fucked it up and actually what they mean is that like they're just tired of not fucking us over openly, collectively.
Of a puzzle, and it starts with folding clothes.
I wanna fold clothes for you. I wanna make you feel good.
And right away, it makes more sense that this song comes right after She's Mine, where James's life completely changed.
Baby, I wanna do the right thing. Feel so much better than her own thing.
Turns out that simple things like just folding clothes, taking a nap with your partner, making breakfast mean so much more to James than anything he's done before.
Woke up this morning feeling like the best version of me. So happy
And it's even amplified by the fact he's gonna be a father soon.
I'm practicing being present, there's nowhere I need to be, except right here with you.
But you might recall that in Change, James was still grappling with his pride and his softer side. If we're thinking about that hard, proud figure he always had to keep up as a dealer.
I never thought I'd see the day I'm drinking almond milk. You soft, I wanna fold clothes for you.
This is hilarious as a line, that the fact that he's now drinking almond milk tears down his street cred, but it still sets well where James was at that point of his life.
Niggas from the hood is the best actors. We the ones that gotta wear our face backwards.
That is low-key true, bro. That is so fucking true. I even like, okay, this is besides the point, but literally like when it comes to a lot of the niggas that basically be in the music industry, they don't be living their lifestyle though, you know what I'm saying? So there's only like so few. And I'm just like, it kind of makes sense because I'm like thinking, how the fuck did these niggas manage to basically say all the shit that they say and still get away with it though? But then again, the record labels are in on it though, so they'll try to protect everything they'll try to do everything they can to protect their assets though, so they can make money off of them though, and then they'll toss them to the side once they're done with them though. It happened to R. Kelly. Look at him now.
These little things, like almond milk, that slowly take a bigger part of James's life. He says these are weaknesses on the street, and it makes him realize how they're both such different worlds.
Put your frown on before they think you soft. Never smile long or take your defense off.
This happiness that James feels right now, he needs to always leave it at home, because this isn't a place where he can show any sign of vulnerability.
I got a Glock 40 and a Lil 9 ready for
Okay, I'm gonna basically like chill for a little bit though, so I'm gonna be out though. Bruh, this streaming thing though. Yeah, I'm not gonna do long hours though. Maybe in the future, but therefore not now. Maybe like if I was to do it, it'll be like for an hour or two. But an hour. And then I'm just out. You know, a part of me actually feels like I was literally just basically like out for like just 1 minute, and now it's just like something's telling me I should just get it done now so I can basically just do it later.
for the day a nigga pull mine.
Because in this city, unfortunately, we already know this, but anything can happen. But James has got different plans.
Gotta learn to speak in ways that's unnatural, just to make it through the job interview.
Because at this point, he's already looking to get better at job interviews and find a steady, normal job.
Peeking through the blinds, I see the sun now.
As he looks ahead through the window, it's not pouring anymore. He can see clearly a way out.
I see her still sleeping and it feels like maybe everything is gonna be alright.
This right here, I like the static buzzing though, and also when it comes to the edit size right here, I like this.
You'd think the second part of She's Mine keeps talking about James's girlfriend, right? But without any words yet, we get it's not the case. This song is entirely dedicated to the newborn daughter of James, little Nina.
For you, I dropped the tough guy shit. On this bus, I sit thinking about you.
To James, there's nothing that affects him more than Nina. It completely surpasses all that shit he's lived before. This is meaningless as long as she's his. It's not for nothing they say your life completely changes once you have a child.
Giving me a chance to feel special to somebody in the world where they not loving me.
James's world becomes Nina. This world that pushed him towards all the wrong places. He realizes how much he doesn't want that anymore.
Yeah, but if I had a magic wand to make the evil disappear, it means that there would be no Santa Claus.
James wants a world with no evil for Nina. But he asks himself, like, what would it be like? If all evil could go away, would there be anything left? He takes the example of Santa Claus, for example.
Because what he represents is really greed and the need to purchase shit from corporations that make it...
Sorry, kids, but Santa Claus is a marketing ploy. To a kid, it's Christmas joy and cheer and free gifts, but to a working class family who's barely getting around, it's stuff they need to buy.
Every Black Friday just to get some shit they can't afford.
It's also like James starts teaching his daughter, like, real joy doesn't come from money.
We just shit here. We don't know if we just like it.
And Nina teaches him back what life really is all about.
You are now the reason that I right. I ain't never did nothing this right in my whole life.
There's nothing higher and better or more valuable than love. In a way, he's won at life.
Am I worthy of this gift? Am I strong enough to do that?
He's so happy that he's like,
Nope.
do I even deserve this for all I've done? But he asks himself, above all, is he strong enough to lift her?
To a place that I can see. One more important than me.
James didn't have the chance to get lifted up by his parents, but maybe he could do it for Nina.
I'm taking credit for what God made. Fuck this album shit. Hey mama, look what God.
But above all, for James, Nina is an undeniable fact that there's someone watching over him.
There is a God. It is a God.
But still, in this moment, he doesn't
But which one though?
know how he deserves to be so happy.
It is a God. I never felt so alive.
That someone has brought this little angel into his life.
I never felt so alive. I never felt so alive.
And that no matter what happens, he's gonna do everything in his power to love his little girl and make sure she lives a life he did not live himself.
Catch me.
And then the percussion.
There is a reason why this tape doesn't end with the death of James, because to whomever needs to hear it, that's what he would want anybody to remember at the end, is that James's love for his daughter was unconditional.
For the first time. Yeah.
In the album's 8-minute long closing track, it sheds a light on why this album was even made.
For your eyes only.
First of all, the title of the record is said numerous times, For Your Eyes Only. Other than being an obvious reference to Tupac's album All Eyes on Me, it means that whatever James has left to say, it's probably in form of a message to someone in particular.
Niggas be dying on the daily. It seems my dreams faded for far too long. The consequence.
But what's clear is that the title track serves an
It's like I don't even really like the drums, but it just works for me though. But I'm not feeling it like that, but it just does. It's just doing it somehow.
initially as a retrospective or resume of his life.
Can't visualize myself as nothing but a criminal. Control the block, serving up rocks and stay.
And it starts with him as a young dealer, controlling the block and contributing to the cycle of violence.
Cause young niggas is hard-headed, they letting off, full of adrenaline, ignorant.
James talks about the hard-headedness that comes with being a criminal, being young and oblivious of the consequences of your actions, but he also paints a picture of the consequences it has on his family as well.
And my daughter gotta eat. Her mama be stressing me like I ain't the one who put them J's on.
That job, it's his way to provide with his family, and at the same time,
Yeah, and then basically like you have to like, and then in some cases it's like you have to basically deal with two kids at the same time, the mother and the kid, bruh. Because I'm not gonna front though, bitches are childish, bruh.
time to help
Even as old as they are.
his daughter. not fall into the same path he did.
I might be low for the moment, but I will bounce back despite the charges.
But there's inconsistencies in that story, right? Like, remember on Folding Clothes when he said he's practicing job interviews, changing his ways so he can leave this criminal world. Why does he still come back to it in the end? It doesn't make sense.
This is hell and I don't mean that hyperbolic. I tried to find employment even if it's white but tallest.
With a story that was told in fragments, it was pretty hard to grasp details of why stuff is happening the way it is, especially for why James is staying as a criminal.
But these felonies be making life the hardest, resisting the temptation to run up and swipe a wallet.
James is not just locked in this criminal lifestyle because of the money it brings. He already has felonies, which makes it pretty much impossible to find any kind of job.
I'll run up on your yard, snatch your daughter bike and pawn it. That's why I write this sonnet.
In this final message, James has the goal of explaining everything, why he did everything he did in the way he did it. A lesson for a little girl he leaves behind.
If the pressure get too much for me to...
I don't know what it is, but it just seems like these tats right here, like the scribbles here, just I wonder what the fuck are these though? Like, what would they be?
take, and I play this tape for my daughter and let her know my life is on it.
For Your Eyes Only is not an album by J. Cole. This tape is meant to be played for Nina. He's writing it in the case he can't find another job, cracks and gets back to a criminal lifestyle, knowing very well it will mean his death.
For your eyes, do you understand? For your eyes, do you understand?
And this completely changes the narrative. Not only it tells us why we're listening to this story, but during this time, he was looking for another job. What makes it even sadder is that he went back to being a drug dealer out of the pressure of not being able to provide for his family, to offer.
Crazy. You see what I'm saying, bro? You see. Because here's the thing, like, yes, it pays more when it comes to like being the drug dealer though, but it's so fucking risky though. It pays more shit, yes. And you could also try to do the 9-to-5 job as well, but also at the same time, that's also another way of like, if you try to go do like a normal job or some shit, the next thing people try to dig up your past and like they arrest you like right there on the spot, and at the same time you don't even have enough money to basically just tap to your family and shit, and then they can't even like. And then the next thing, like, you might have even picked the wrong bitch to make a baby with, and then you come to find out that it's that actually like this bitch ends up fucking it up though, because bitches are so stupid when it comes to cash though. They basically have bad financial habits though.
For a viable future for his daughter.
You probably grown now, so the song will hit you. If you hearing this, unfortunately means that I'm no longer.
And he wanted Nina to know. And if it's not in person, this tape is at least played for her to make her understand why her dad isn't there anymore.
My pops was killed too, so I know how part of you feels. Maybe you hate me, maybe you.
Because we know indirectly that Nina took the death of her father in a pretty rough way. From Back in Ville mentality, where we have the scene where Nina slammed the door to her room.
I seen far too many niggas' hopes right. I'm writing this because me and the devil had a dance.
But ultimately, the tape continues with James teaching lessons to his daughter.
But daddy had dreams once.
Dance with the devil though, it looks kind of fancy though, I'm not gonna front though. I mean, I wouldn't mind dancing with the devil though, but I just know that if it doesn't like have like the ending that I don't want, but it has an ending that I'm fine with, then yeah, I'll dance with it though.
My eyes had a gleam once.
Notably in hopes of still having her follow her dreams, like he didn't have the chance.
Innocence disappeared by the age of 8 years. My pop shot up, drug related.
Back when he was a kid, James didn't get the chance to be lifted up by his parents.
So granny raised me in projects where thugs was hanging, blood was staining the concrete.
But living with his grandmother didn't stop the fact he was spoiled into that.
And you know also the problem, right, is that there's so many niggas that just be dying and shit though. Next thing the thing is like there's just blood on the floor and there's just bodies everywhere, bro. It's just that even seeing bodies on the streets, on the floor and shit, just lifeless and everything. Like, bro, that's actually crazy, bro. And then you have to basically try to pick up the bodies, try to get rid of them, and also at the same time you have to clean the streets too. They get the blood off the, you know what I'm saying?
that world extremely young.
Older niggas I love talk like they was above, man. Picked up the family business by the age of 13.
James started selling,
and also the pressure of like when it comes to even like picking up the family business at by the age of 13, and then next thing you come to find out that your mother is like the type that only give birth to you because she sees that because she knows that you're one of the very few guys that will love her unconditionally almost, and like you just don't, and also they'll even go ahead and do so because they can't be alone with themselves.
drugs at 13 years old, which explains why he was so bound to crime. He was a child when he started.
6 years later was handed sentence around the same time as when you came in this world.
And at 19, he went to jail for a while, at the same time Nina was born.
Me and your mama thinking, what the fuck we naming this girl? I told her Nina.
James picked the name Nina, which he thought was the prettiest name he could think of. There's a bunch of different meanings for Nina, but one, for example, would be a 9mm handgun, perhaps saying how Nina was a way to protect him somehow, to save him.
And now I fear it's too late for me to ever be the one to set examples that was never set for me.
This little girl was everything to James, and he feared to rewrite the same story he lived, but with Nina as the main character.
And if my past becomes the death of me, I hope you understand.
Because you can't help but notice this cycle repeating. Parents that are involved in gang violence and drugs just makes it more likely their kids fall into that world with nothing else to look up to. This tape is not just a way to explain his story, it's to tell Nina to stay away from that world with everything she can.
There's several ways I could've went out, too many to count. Was it the young niggas blasting frustrated cause the cash running out?
Throughout this album, one question.
And then you could also go ahead and try to talk about like different perspectives and also smart things with like different people and all that stuff, but it's so fucking annoying having to discuss these type of things with stupid ass niggas though. So like when it comes to me, I just fucking hate dumb people though. I mean, I like them, but I hate them at the same time, though.
That always comes back in many ways is what does it mean to be real? And that's something very important that James needs Nina to know.
See, baby girl, I realized my definition of a real nigga was skewed.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't say I hate dumb people, though. I just hate dealing with dumbass people.
Immortal was exactly about what he's describing right now. Back then, to him, the definition of being real was shaped like a rap song. Immensely proud, braggadocious, keep the image up, don't fuck with me. Don't drink almond milk, of course, but it's how he perceived it.
That real niggas don't speak when they beef with you. They just pull up on your street, let the heat.
There's no discussion. If two people have a problem against each other, it ends with one of them pulling the trigger. It's this constant search for power and influence, a barrier you build around yourself. That's what's real. As a father, he can't associate with that view anymore.
My worst fear is one day that you come home from school.
See, it's even kind of like the same thing with me too, because like when it comes to me, it's like when it comes to people that we basically be having problems with, it's like you would rather just fight it out or shoot it out though. Like that's like the part that I'm from though. But it's just actually much. But then again, that also causes more problems though. So that's the issue. So when it comes to that, it's like it's best to just be shit talking and just be on Twitter fingers and all that stuff and just be a keyboard warrior, because it's more safer that way, and it's actually smarter that way. But it's like to really but to really solve problems is to basically fight it out or just shoot it out. Like let's see who dies first though. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of that. I was similar from that though. I came up from a similar background as that. So, but then I just know that shit talking is actually just much better to deal with.
When see your father face while hearing about tragedy.
But if that's how James resolves conflicts with his enemies, the worst is gonna happen.
I got the strangest feeling your daddy gonna lose his life soon. And sadly, if you listening now,
he's writing
And honestly, the best way to even go ahead and do this shit though is just to go in the Call of Duty lobbies though and just say a bunch of crazy shit and just let loose there. Because it's like, you know what? It's just words. It's just some bullshit. You just basically verbally fucked each other over. And then in the end, nobody died, no injuries, everything's good. And we may not, and sometimes we may never have to ever see each other again. Or like never even have to come across each other again.
Thing down for his daughter in case it happens, and at that point he's writing, it might not happen.
But maybe there's a chance that it's not, and this album remains locked in a hard drive.
But if it is the final thing he writes to Nina, on top of everything he's teaching her, there's only one thing that comes to mind.
I love you and I hope to God I don't lose you for your eyes on.
And it's like at the very end, even though he knows he's gonna die soon, he still wants to keep his pride intact and reiterates to Nina, this is for you only.
And who is that?
As if he didn't want anybody else to see this vulnerable side of him.
When Daddy called me, told me he had a funny feeling.
One day, Cole received a call from his close friend. There wasn't any details of what he was living at the time, but one thing was very discernible, a sense of panic.
He said, Jermaine, I knew you since we was cheering. I never asked for nothing.
It sounds like James is about to ask a huge favor from Cole when he starts speaking like that.
Dealt with the repercussions of my actions. I know you tried to steer me away from that shit.
Cole is hearing James monologuing super fast about the fact he never asked for anything, never talked to Cole about the anxieties he was dealing with. He knows Cole was trying to steer him away from crime, but it was in his blood from back when he was a child. He's grateful for when Cole's mother used to let him sleep at their house.
Nigga, what you talking about? Fuck is you getting that?
From the other end, it makes no sense.
He said, listen, I got no time to dive into descriptions, but I've been having premonitions.
He tells him about that pouring rain he's been seeing. The shape and the distance he can't see clearly, but he knows what it means.
I got a feeling I won't see tomorrow, like the time I'm living on is borrowed.
Still, Cole doesn't understand, but it doesn't matter, because it all comes down to this.
The only thing I'm proud to say, I was a father. Write my story down, and if I pass, go play it for my daughter when she...
That was the favor, so that's why he's here today, with Nina.
And so I'm leaving you this record for your eyes only. Don't you ever scratch or disrespect it.
And this tape, like Cole says, is just for her, but its message goes beyond that.
I dedicate these words to you and all the other children.
Because there are thousands of other fatherless children just like Nina.
Affected by the mass incarceration in this nation that sent your pops to prison when he needed.
As James's wish is finally fulfilled, Cole ultimately adds on to one question that wasn't fully answered.
Girl, your daddy was a real nigga, not cause he was cold.
He tells Nina, your dad was real, but not for the reasons you think.
Not because he was the first to get some pussy 12 years old. Not because he used to come through in the
It's not because he sold some drugs or was the first in his friend group to get a girl. Not because he kept that pride and image up. Not because he went to prison twice.
Not because he screamed fuck the law, although that was true. Your daddy was a real nigga cause he loved you for your eyes only.